Listened to all the comments and made a cranberry orange loaf.
And I still cannot believe how good it turned out. First that morning, I fed my starter like usual. Then I let her be for about 6 hours. Once risen, I did 100 grams of starter, 230 grams of warm water, 120 grams of warm orange juice. And this was my method to juice it because I didn't have a juicer. And it worked well, so. Then I did 50 grams of granulated sugar, 500 grams of bread flour, and 9 grams of salt.
And this is the first recipe I made on my own.
Once that was mixed up, I did my regular stretch and folds on it, and this was after the bulk fermentation. Now it's time for my favorite part, which is lamination. Which typically happens around midnight. I'm very hysterically tired at this point. Flip the dough out, and you already know it came out clean.
This dough was very, very soft. Actually easy to work with.
I took some of your suggestions and zested 1 orange, and mixed it up with a 1/4 cup sugar and just let that sit all day. And I smeared most of it all over and added cranberries. I probably did like a 1/4 cup of cranberries here. Folded one side, added more, and then I folded the other side and added even more. This method just seems to work well for me.
Then I rolled it on up, did some pull and pushes or whatever they're called.
And no breakage this time. But I did forget to prep my basket, so here I am getting some flour in there and just plop my dough right inside. A little bit of breaking, but that's okay. That went in the fridge overnight, and the next morning I put it out on some parchment. And I use parchment for all my inclusion loaves so that nothing seeps out into my pan. Got some flour on there and decided to score it. Just did a bunch of slashes on one side and then my big score. You'll see how this turns out so well. Did a little happy dance before I stuck it in the oven. I am so pleased with how this turned out. Look how beautiful this loaf is. All those little slashes let the cranberries peek through, and it's so beautiful.
This was the best crumb shot I've ever got.
Just look at that. How perfect is that? And the smell was phenomenal as well. I finally cut myself a slice, and this was the best sourdough loaf I've ever made. I'm not even kidding. To everyone that asked me to do this loaf, thank you so much. Definitely gonna be a weekly thing for me.